709, the drought is taking its toll on this year's pumpkin crop. Both the supply and the size of pumpkins are smaller this year in Kentucky, and that means you can expect to pay a little more. That is not the case, though, in Ohio and Indiana. Both states are reporting an excellent pumpkin crop this year. Well, many people collect antiques. Others collect antique tractors and farm equipment.
And they get together once a year up in Warren County for a big three-day festival. Chris Baelish is there right now. And Chris, they call this the Old Machinery Days, right?
That's exactly right, Paula. And here's why. Take a look at one of the probably 100 or so different types of farm equipment that's going to be up here. This is a late 1940s Ford M2, I think they call it. It's basically rigged to be a steamroller, but it's a really old tractor, and it's one of many beautiful examples of beautifully restored antique farm equipment here. They've got a lot of John Deere tractor equipment here, many from the late 1940s, early 1950s, and guess what? It all works, it all runs, and they demonstrate it, and they even do an antique tractor pull, and we're going to demonstrate that for you in the next half hour. But right now I want to talk with the owner of one of the probably the most interesting pieces of equipment that I've seen up here. This is Richard Oder. And Richard, what is this thing we're standing on?
Chris, this is a 1923 A.D. Baker steam engine.
And what was it used for?
It was used many years ago to saw lumber with, to thrash wheat with, and also some plowing.
Now, can you show us the power source here?
We certainly can. This is the firebox door. We'll open it up. You can see the operation there.
And what are you putting in there? Coal?
A little coal and a little wood. And
what else can you burn in there?
Basically, that's the two main items, and
okay.
I burn a lot of wood in it.
Okay. Now, this thing was really more of a mobile power source than it was a tractor, like a farm tractor, right?
That is correct. It certainly was. It had the large cleats on the wheels that gave them excellent traction, and it was very mobile, carried its own water with it. And it was certainly a key item back in the 1920s.
Oh, can you make it move for us? Does it go forward?
Yes, be happy to.
All right, now while we're going to do that, can you tell us about the Old Machinery Days? Why is this kind of a neat event for people to come up and see?
The Old Machinery Days is a time where both young children and also the adults have the opportunity to see the tractors that served our country many years ago and see just how functional they are. And these are two great clubs that utilize our facilities here at Oders Lake, and they have a great number of restored vehicles, and certainly you'll see them a little later on.
All right, Paula, we'll toss it back to you, and do you think we have enough steam to try to move forward?
We certainly do, yes.
Here we go. I'm going to hold on, Paula.
Okay.
Old Machinery Days.
Piece of equipment.
At Oders Lake, I got to hold on. Oh, boy. We're getting into gear. See you later.
You don't move too fast, though, do you? You don't get a real fast takeoff there. But it is nice. Thanks, Chris. Again, the Antique Tractor Show is called the Old Machinery Days. It's today through Sunday, and it's located 3 miles west of Morrow on State Route 22 at Oders Lake. But the price of gas lately, that might be the way to go again, though.
Steam, right? It is 7:12 now, and a complete look at your forecast coming up next.
Nice car, huh?
Yeah.
99 Oldsmobile Alero. Automatic transmission, all-speed traction control, four-wheel ABS, all standard. And car and driver called the Alero GL. Downright world-class.
Can I take a test drive?
Huh? Oh, I don't work here.
Buying a car requires research, so go ahead, find out all you can, and check out the Alero at the Oldsmobile Smart Choice Sales Event. Now get great 0% financing or $750 cash back on the road-hugging Alero for a limited time at your local Oldsmobile dealer.
What could be more exciting than the grand opening of an Old Time Pottery Home Decor Superstore? 2 Old Time Pottery grand openings. Coming September 25th, Old Time Pottery Florence, Kentucky, just south of Florence Mall. And Old Time Pottery Forest Park, Ohio, I-275, exit 39 South. Old Time Pottery.
Old Time Pottery. Old Time Pottery. Old Time Pottery.
Acres of exciting home decor for less. Tell everyone.
Ragtime. Just the sound of it brings to life a century full of dreams, dance, music, and life, and a big, glorious Broadway musical. Ragtime, Broadway's most honored musical, including 4 1998 Tony Awards, and a critically acclaimed cast of singers and dancers. Don't miss Ragtime.
Charge by phone 241-7469, a Fifth Third Bank Broadway Series presentation.
We've been here for almost 124 years. Because of that, they know we're going to be around when they need us.
It's Rhodes anniversary, and the furniture you want is on sale now. Save $200 on this sofa. Save $200 on this queen-size bed. You don't pay a thing until January 2001 at Rhodes' 124th anniversary sale.
The relationships we build with customers really go on from generation to generation.
This Monday, CBS becomes the comedy broadcasting system, beaming out TV's funniest signal. Wow! First, get your motor running with the season premiere of The King of Queens. Then, the series premiere of Ladies' Man.
You've got the only testosterone in the house.
Not true. Your mother's coming along with a very nice mustache.
And it's a brand new season for the Emmy-nominated Raymond.
I got a rash on my leg. Then by all means, touch all our foods.
Plus, Ted Danson returns in the hit comedy Becker. The comedy broadcasting system hits the air this Monday only on CBS.
7:15, good morning, everyone. A clear, cool morning out there. We'll be around 44 at 8 a.m., 66 at noon, mostly sunny and 71 for today's high. Last 24 hours, we can see the remains of Floyd moving quickly up the coast. And this morning, it's moving through New England up into the state of Maine, and the latest position on it puts it just south of Portland, Maine. Here are the latest wind speeds. These are sustained winds as of 7 a.m. today. 16 up in Bar Harbor, 21 in Boston, 20 in New York City, but gusts still close to 40 in New York City, and gusts will be that high in Boston, but really not enough to cause major delays or stopping of air traffic. And you can see most of the rain now in upstate New York, northern Vermont, moving off to the north and east. And by the way, if you have trouble remembering which one's Vermont, Vermont's the one that looks like a V. Just one of those little geographical trivial things you might want to know sometime. Here's where the center of Floyd is, just south of Portland. Portland right about here. It's going to parallel the coast and by 8 o'clock tonight be moving out of Maine into the maritime provinces of Canada, then continuing to move out into the Atlantic Ocean. By Saturday evening, it's gone. And then by Sunday morning, we're going to see a big high-pressure ridge take over New England, and there will no longer be any precipitation. So the East Coast gets good weather just like us, but a little bit later in the weekend once Floyd is gone. 48 right now at the International Airport, Lunken at 44, 47 at the National Weather Service office. Relative humidity, 73%. Calm winds, barometric pressure rising. The Ohio River in Cincinnati, 26.2, 34.3 in Maysville. Both are steady. Pollutant Standard Index yesterday was good. The pollen count was 59, 40 of that ragweed. 1,783 was the mold spore count. That is not very high, but just high. Well, here's the remains of the hurricane when you look at an upper level map. And notice that pulls off to the east. It doesn't look like a warming trend coming our way because there's another big mass of cool air coming out of Canada, and that will arrive for the beginning of next week. So the leading edge of that big mass of cool air is this front. So over the weekend, high pressure dominates. The front heads to the south and east, picks up a little bit of moisture, and that will bring some rain into the Cincinnati area for Monday and for Tuesday. So on the way to school, mostly clear and cool, 42 to 52 out there, mostly sunny on the way home in the upper 60s, in the 70s for your weekend.
Critics declare Robin Williams gives an Oscar-worthy performance in Jacob the Liar.
This is the BBC. I admire what you're doing.
It's stunning and unforgettable.
But I lied to you.
Jacob the Liar, rated PG-13. Opens everywhere September 24th.
The look. Look who? J.C. Penney.
Oatmeal lovers, book a chapel in Vegas. If you have a passion for moist, chewy oatmeal and satisfying chunks of real fruit, then say I do to new Nutri-Grain Fruitful Squares. Fill up and you're good to go.
Good morning.
Ow. Who said that?
Hey, right up here, next to this poor neglected jug of orange juice.
You're a leftover ham sandwich.
That's correct, and don't you realize that the American Cancer Society says foods like Florida orange juice may help in the fight against cancer?
The American Cancer Society says that? How do you know all this?
What else am I going to do? I sit up here and I read the labels. You know, the light goes on, the light goes off. That's pretty much my day.
100% pure Florida orange juice. Are you drinking enough?
Fortunately for Millie, Dr. Espinoza was in the office early, while someone else was drafting the marketing plan to sell his home. At 11, he was making his rounds, instead of visiting his title company. At 1 p.m., he was giving Pam good news, instead of checking for disclosure documents. And by the time Dr. Espinoza wrote the day's last prescription, someone else was at his home meeting a prospective buyer. You've got a life. We let you live it. We're Realtors. Real estate is our life.
Some people get nervous when that door goes up. Not me. But then I deliver to all the shops. Nervous people like crunchy food. Don't sell much nervous food here.
Goodwrench Good Time Savings means great deals, like brake service front or rear for only $99.99 or less. It's a good time to see GM Goodwrench Service Plus.
Good time savings? No wonder I don't sell any nervous food here.
Critics declare Robin Williams gives an Oscar-worthy performance in Jacob the Liar.
This is the BBC. I admire what you're doing.
You must see this unforgettable film.
Would I lie to you?
Jacob the Liar, rated PG-13. Open September 24th.
From CBS News World Headquarters in New York, I'm Hattie Kaufman.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mark McEwen. Here are some of this morning's top stories. Police in Texas are slowly putting together a picture of the gunman who went on a killing spree inside a church packed with teenagers. Larry Ashbrook, an unemployed loner, murdered 7 people before shooting himself. Bob McNamara is in Fort Worth with more on the killer and a community in mourning. Hello, Bob.
Morning, Mark. Well, as the hours pass and the investigation deepens, police continue to fill in the blanks about the bizarre and disturbed life of the killer, 47-year-old Larry Ashbrook. Ashbrook's brother describes him as a paranoid schizophrenic, prone to conspiracy theories and psychological warfare against him. In the meantime, funeral services have now been scheduled for 3 of Ashbrook's 7 victims tomorrow.
Prayers were offered last night for the shooting victims.
We want to hold up to you those 7 precious lives that were snuffed out.
Though a police search of the killer's home found he had ransacked and wrecked the interior, if 47-year-old Larry Ashbrook had a motive to his madness, it may have died with him.
And we don't have any significant information in regards to why he committed this crime.
Yeah, there's a shooter at Wedgwood Baptist Church.
It was a flurry of 911 calls that brought police to the scene.
How many shots were fired? About 6 or 8. The guy pointed the gun at me and shot at me.
A Baptist youth service was the gunman's target.
4 or 5 people got shot, and like one of my friends got shot. She's dead.
In the wake of the terror, the sight of the wounded on his church lawn, the pastor sees society now at a terrible loss.
Maybe it's a sign of a culture that falls apart, that violence can happen where someone can come into a church and just start firing away.
Later today, police are expected to wind up their official investigation here at the Wedgwood Baptist Church. It's the pastor's hope and promise to have services again here on Sunday morning. Mark?
Bob McNamara in Fort Worth this morning. Thank you. Tropical Storm Floyd continues to lose strength this morning as it races across New England. It's expected to pass through Maine before dying out over Nova Scotia later on today. The storm caused record flooding from New Jersey to North Carolina, and over 1 million people along the East Coast have no electricity. At least 16 deaths are blamed on Floyd, including 2 Delaware girls who were swept into a storm drain.
In this morning's health report, Hurricane Floyd literally swamped the eastern seaboard with heavy rains and strong sea surges, and that's left the potential for dangerous waterborne diseases. Our health contributor, Dr. Bernadine Healy, is also the president of the American Red Cross, and she joins us from Washington this morning. Good morning, Dr. Healy.
Good morning.
What precautions or what are the health concerns that people should be concerned about as they're going home?
Well, of course, everyone's anxious to go home, but the key message is that they should not go back into devastated areas without being told to do so by the local officials. Clearly, there are risks of downed power lines, even traffic stoplights that are out, and there become traffic concerns when you get into your home. Particularly if there's been flooding, one has to worry about electric currents. One also has to worry about gas leaks. And of course, you must wear protective clothing, heavy boots, because sometimes the animals, rodents, snakes can get into the house and into the environment, and you want to be protected from them as well.
And I suppose there's also the danger of sewage lines being backed up.
Well, sewage lines, and also if you have septic tanks and well water, so that there is a risk of contamination of the drinking supply. And actually, that's one of the worst risks as people go back. And it's extremely important to make sure you boil that water a full minute, and that you also, if you have well water, make sure it's tested. E. coli and other bacteria can get into that water system and cause unnecessary illness.
And what is the Red Cross doing to help folks in this part, the going home stage?
Well, we have a major role in cleanup. We have cleanup pails that we distribute, house-by-house assessment, and also an important role, believe it or not, in mental health counseling. Increasingly, we see that as people go back into these disasters, weather these disasters, first there's a euphoria and the shelter that they survived it. But when they go home, there's a lot of depression, and it can affect the whole family. This is a family a problem, and in some cases, not only depression that can last up to a year or more, but even post-traumatic stress disorder where, you know, people have flashbacks and have trouble sleeping. So mental health counseling should not be ignored.
Thank you, Dr. Bernadine Healy. We'll be back.
This morning's health segment sponsored by Kellogg's. Tomorrow morning, help yourself with Kellogg's.
Little baby sister, the morning is new, and I'd like to show you what Rice Krispies can do. Snap, crackle, pop, wake up call to the world. Here's my favorite sound. Do you like what you've heard?
Someday you'll talk too.
Kellogg's Rice Krispies cereal. Snap, crackle, pop, wake up call to the world.
Critics are cheering for Love of the Game. Among the great sports films of all time, it's also a tender and touching romance.
How do you like to be kissed?
Not to be missed. 4 stars. A great baseball film. A glorious love story.
Haven't you ever loved anything that much?
The most inspiring film of the year.
You get me back, I'll figure out how to win.
Kevin Costner for Love of the Game. Rated PG-13. Now playing at theaters everywhere.
Make every day good to the last drop.
Ow! I feel good.
Senecot Children's Laxative Syrup is so chocolatey delicious, you can give it alone, in milk, or over ice cream. It's the natural vegetable laxative that's delicious.
When I was fat, I was in this shell. I never wanted to go anywhere. I don't need to hide myself anymore. I lost over 50 pounds with the Slim Fast plan. I've kept it off for 5 years. I'm so full of life. I love to work out, and I drink a shake every day. Delicious. I will never go back.
23 vitamins and minerals, protein, calcium, fiber, all the balanced nutrition like a healthy meal.
Feels so good. Gosh, it's phenomenal.
Slim Fast every day. Balanced nutrition for a healthy life.
I love who I am now.
On the Weather Watch, Floyd's legacy. Tonight, the cleanup and the cost. Also, the new treatment for MS that changed her life. All on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Now that The Late Show has survived the hurricane, Biff, just come on in. You're not really. Don't miss Heather Locklear, Keyshawn Johnson, and the CBS Mailbag next Dave.
Ooh, a sunny morning. Good morning, everyone. 7:27 and 50 degrees outside.
Here are our top stories this morning. Tropical Storm Floyd makes for a rough commute this morning along the East Coast. At least 16 deaths are now blamed on the storm, and more than 1 million customers are without power. The storm is expected to pass through Maine today before dying out over Nova Scotia. Flooding remains a serious problem in the Carolinas, with damage expected to exceed $1 billion. We'll have more on the storm's damage in just a moment.
Well, there wasn't a hurricane in Boone County this morning that sounded emergency warning sirens. They went off accidentally around 1 o'clock this morning. Boone County police say there was a malfunction in the system and that there was no emergency.
A U.S. district judge says the Grant County School Board could face damages in the case of 2 students who were denied membership in the National Honor Society after becoming pregnant. The Cincinnati Enquirer reports the ruling frees individual school board members from liability, but not the group as a whole. Summer Chipman Hurston and Chastity Glass filed a federal lawsuit last year. The trial is expected to begin in late October.
Kentucky tobacco farmers are being urged to look out for themselves for a share of the upcoming tobacco settlement. $380 million have been set aside for 14 states, but Kentucky hopes to reap 1/3 of that amount. Governor Paul Patton says the state has no record of tenant farmers and will be unable to contact them directly.
And good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day up here at Odors Lake. We're getting ready for the old machinery days, including the antique tractor pull. This is the tractor pull sled. It's got 12,000 pounds of concrete here in blocks. And look inside. It's actually a pretty complicated transmission and gearing system with a cable. As the tractor pulls the sled, the concrete moves forward and becomes more and more heavy and more difficult to pull. That's Tom Gentry. He's the sled operator. This is Bill Hurt. He's from Lebanon, Ohio, on a 1955 tractor. Bill, go ahead and get ready. Let's show them what we're talking about here. We're got a live report with the antique tractor pull coming up.
Looking forward to that, Chris. Good morning, everyone. It's a clear, cool morning, as you just saw in Chris's live shot. 48 degrees is the official temperature, but we've had a report in from about halfway between Fayetteville and Blanchester. Robert Greiman out there, his thermometer reported 36 degrees this morning. So some low spots in the rural areas on the chilly side. 71 today, 71 tomorrow, 43 tomorrow morning's low. That means a cool morning if your kids are playing soccer early on. 78 on Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday we may see some rain. We'll update that and give you the latest on Tropical Storm Floyd in a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Steve. Good morning, everyone. I'm Paula Toti.
And I'm John Lomax. It is Friday, September 17th. This is 12 News This Morning. Let's update traffic now with Dave Armbruster, Sky 12 helicopter traffic.
Good morning. I'm over 75 at Union Center Boulevard. A little crowded here from Tylersville through Union Center and actually all the way to Sharon Road. And then it opens up, and then you're on and off the brakes again at the Lockland Split. South 71 looks good heading into downtown, and no real complaints northbound 75 through the construction zone, Buttermilk to Dixie. The sun's going to slow you down this morning again, though, inbound 74 and north 75 to Mitchell. I'm Dave Armbruster, Sky 12 helicopter traffic.
All right, Dave, thank you. 7:30 now. You know, many tri-staters did not get a rude awakening this morning. Their alarms didn't go off because the power was out.
Synergy tells 12 News residents in Fairfield, Springdale, Monroe, and Middletown were affected by the outage. Nearly 3,500 customers were without power for over an hour beginning at 5 this morning. Everything now is back up and running. Officials at Synergy still don't know what caused the outage. Floyd winds down as the cleanup continues along the eastern seaboard.
And a memorial service for victims of a deadly church shooting. Hattie Kaufman has more in this morning's headlines.
Floyd, now a weakening tropical storm, is racing across the northeast this morning. The storm is centered near Portland, Maine, with 60-mile-an-hour winds. Floyd battered the northeast with heavy rain and gusting winds last night after drenching the Carolinas. At least 13 deaths are blamed on Floyd, most of them traffic-related. A memorial service was held for the victims of a church shooting in Fort Worth, Texas. Last night, hundreds turned out to mourn the 7 people who were killed. According to the police, the gunman Larry Ashbrook wrote letters to newspapers suggesting people were out to get him. Several miles of beach in Huntington Beach, California have been closed to the public after hundreds of hypodermic needles washed ashore. Authorities are trying to determine where the needles came from and whether they are contaminated. Most of the syringes had plastic caps over the needles. Coming up in our next hour on This Morning at 8:18, Oscar-nominated actress Kathleen Quinlan talks about her new television series for CBS called Family Law. At 8:40, Steve Hartman shows us, yes, everybody has a story, even an energetic 5-year-old. And at 8:47, our series Pet Project shows you what's new in animal health care and, just as important, how to pay those vet bills. It is all in our next hour on This Morning.
All right, it's 7:32 now. And Roger Groom's up next with a look at Sideman, which is playing the Ensemble Theater. And Kevin Costner is minding the old baseball genre again in his new movie, For Love of the Game.
But first, roll out the barrels. It's Oktoberfest Cincinnati weekend. That is next on 12 News This Morning.
Eastside Lincoln Mercury presents one less thing to worry about. Life Care Plus. An exclusive Eastside warranty for the life of your car. Plus, the luxury of the Lincoln Valet, the confidence of master technicians, the convenience of customer-friendly service hours, and our way of saying thank you. An exclusive Eastside lifetime warranty. Worry-free driving for the life of your car. Now, save up to $9,000 on 1999 model closeouts.
During Toyota's
Making It Happen sales event. We've got 2000s coming and 99s going. And 99 Tacomas are going fast, since the factory has just announced the largest factory-to-dealer incentives of the year. Drive home a 99 Tacoma 4x2 with combined total savings up to $2,550. Or save up to $4,100 in a 4x4. That's $4,100 during the Making It Happen sales event, now through September 30th. See your Toyota dealer today.
Want to save big on all your fall favorites? Then get into Garden Ridge. Look at all of this. You'll save 30, 40, even 50% on decorations, silk flowers, candles, even pictures and frames. And more, Garden Ridge has a huge selection of home accents at prices that can't be beat. So don't wait another minute. Get into Garden Ridge, the home decor marketplace. Take 275, exit 32 East, left after Eastgate Mall.
It's allergy season again. So what do doctors prescribe for itchy, watery allergy eyes like yours?
Patanol.
Patanol. More than any other prescription allergy eye drop?
Patanol.
Patanol works fast. In just minutes.
And it lasts 8 hours. It really works.
Some people may experience headache, burning, or stinging. Take your contacts out before use.
Bye-bye, allergy eyes.
Patanol. Works in minutes. Lasts 8 hours.
This movie review is brought to you by Blockbuster Video. Go home happy.
At 7:35, we have more local news for you. It's Oktoberfest Cincinnati weekend, y'all. The opening ceremonies for the 24th annual festival begin today at noon on Fountain Square. That includes the tapping of the official festival keg and giving away 500 free sausage sandwiches. Saturday evening, catch the highlight of this year's event, the world's largest chicken dance. That's not world's largest chicken doing a dance. It's like a bunch of people doing the chicken dance.
Yeah.
And kazoo band led by Weird Al Yankovic and kazoo king Rick Hubbard. The festival will run all day Saturday and Sunday on a stretch of 5th Street between Broadway and Race. Well, you may recall Kevin Costner in Field of Dreams of Bull Durham. Well, he's back on the baseball diamond in For Love of the Game.
Yeah, another baseball movie. 12 News entertainment critic Roger Grooms joins us with a take on the new film and a look at Sideman playing at the Ensemble Theater.
Listen, with Kevin, baseball's been very good for me.
Oh, yeah.
If it hadn't been for baseball, Kevin would have been in considerable trouble of late. Mr. Costner has been involved in some spectacular disasters lately. Waterworld, The Postman, but put a baseball on his hand and the old magic is back. Craggy, wry, totally at home in uniform, Costner is back in mid-season form in For Love of the Game. It's baseball drama mixed with a bittersweet love story told in flashback as the aging Billy Chappell goes head-to-head with the Yankees on the last day of a ho-hum Tigers season. But first, here's his lady love, Kelly Preston.
Have you ever gotten your heart broken?
Yeah, when we lost the pennant in '87.
So are you my mom's boyfriend?
I'm not sure.
But you've slept with her. I need a regular guy, not the guy on the Old Spice commercial.
It was right guard.
I was being metaphorical. Little boys buy cards with your picture on
They
them.
buy those for the gum.
Interestingly enough, the baseball sequences, as Chappell staggers towards a perfect game, carry the most zip even for non-baseball fans. The romantic interludes, cute and well-written in places, suffer from a quirky, twitchy performance from Kelly Preston. But for purists of baseball, stuff looks great, authentic, believable. The umpires even looked like umpires. And for the seal of approval, the voice of Vin Scully.
Billy Chappell is 40 years old, arm-weary and aching. And you know, Steve, I have a feeling Billy Chappell isn't pitching against the Yankees. He's pitching against time.
When baseball's voice of God, Vin Scully, deigns to appear here amongst us mortals on earth, you know it's okay. For Love of the Game is no Bull Durham, as John and Paula mentioned a moment ago, but it is a plenty good movie. Now, onto the stage, where our own Ensemble Theater of Cincinnati has scored a 10 strike with the first outside of New York performance of the Tony Award-winning drama Sideman. Gary Sandy stars as a totally undependable but often lovable jazz man back in jazz's club heyday. Sideman is obviously an autobiographical journey for the playwright-author Warren Leight. Here, Sandy, silhouetted with striking symbolism, first meets the narrator-playwright's mom, played by Dale Hodges. And here...
Name that tune.
Mine or yours?
Yours?
How many seconds?
As many as you want. Just name it.
What do I win?
Ticket to see Woody Herman.
How can you get a ticket?
Yeah, friends of mine are in the band.
You're teasing me.
You got 6 seconds. You got 5, 4, 3.
Time out. Stop the clock. You don't know it.
No. It doesn't swing.
It did when you played it.
You new in town.
Sandy scores some definite hot licks as the music-obsessed jazz man. ETC regulars Mark Maccabee and Greg Procaccino are to the Smoky clubs born as jazz sidekicks. But the normally splendid Hodges seems way miscast as the long-suffering wife and mom. Sideman, though, is drawing splendidly. That's great for ETC. Also on stage this weekend, Marymount Players opens a very challenging music-inspired drama, Old Wicked Songs. And Sunset Players is doing Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh.
Busy on stage.
I guess so.
Very much so.
Okay, I think I'm going to take you up on the movie.
She really likes Kevin Costner.
I like Kevin Costner. Okay, I do. And it seems like a nice, light date flick where you know what you're going to expect.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
You know, I have a theory about Kevin Costner in these athlete-type movies. He is a fairly good athlete himself. And I think that
unlike, say, Ronald Reagan and a number of the people who played, and Gary Cooper's Lou Gehrig, people who were obviously unathletic.
Right.
Costner looks as if he ought to be on the pitch.
Really does.
So that adds credibility. All right, very good, Roger. Thank you so much. Time now 7:40, and up next, it may be finger looking good, but now the chicken's coming home without the bucket.
And we're just 3 minutes away from checking back in with 12 News reporter Chris Old Mac Bailish.
And as far as weather goes, it looks great today. It looks great for Oktoberfest weekend. And it looks great for the beginning of the week because we might get some rain. We'll talk about that and update John Floyd in just a few minutes.
Anthony, the great values on Broyhill sofas at Furniture Fair are getting a real thumbs up. Take a look. Anthony, I bought my first Broyhill sofa back in 1970.
Styles sure have changed since then.
But not our values.
It's the Super September Savings Sale. Sofas starting as low as $598.88 right now at Furniture Fair.
With our great prices on Broyhill sofas, customers will think it's 1970 again.
That really takes you back, doesn't it?
Whoa, takes me back.
Far out.
The Portfolio Lighting Collection. So tasteful, so affordable. You'll want one in every room. Where are you?
I'm here.
Or maybe not. Portfolio Lighting, only at Lowe's.
King's Auto Mall would like to drive home a point. Last chance on the Midwest's largest closeout. Final closeout discounts on over 6,000 vehicles. Last chance for the biggest markdowns all year. Plus, the 2000s are here, all marked with introductory prices. During final closeout, King's Auto Mall hits the nail right on the head.
More choices, more value at King's Auto Mall.
I-71 to exit 19 on Fields Erdel Road.
You ever arrest anybody you thought was innocent?
I didn't kill my husband.
Deception.
I think this woman is telling the truth.
Betrayal.
Morning, Donna.
Nick?
Revenge.
The state says you already killed your husband, and you find him. Kill him, and there's nothing anybody can do about it.
On September 24th, murder is not always a crime. Tommy Lee Jones, Ashley Judd.
I could shoot you in the middle of Mardi Gras, and they can't touch me.
Double Jeopardy.
Gonna do something? Prosecution rests.
Rated R. Friday, September 24th, everywhere.
It's back to school time, and Office Depot and Cincinnati Bell Wireless want to keep you in touch. Whether your kids need you or you need them, Office Depot can help. Now through October 3rd, purchase and activate a Cincinnati Bell Wireless Digital PCS phone and receive 2 free admissions to the Mysteries of Egypt exhibit. Choose from phones like the Nokia 5160, just $69 each. Plus, get a free college faceplate. So stop into your nearest Office Depot today, your Cincinnati Bell Wireless authorized retailer, and keep in touch.
New information on KFC, the restaurant known for chicken in a bucket, is now offering it on a bun. There are 5 new sandwiches. The media blitz for the new additions begins Sunday. KFC will spend $75 million to introduce the sandwiches. Seems seems like a natural fit, I guess.
It does, indeed.
Yeah. Chris Baelish is learning how to do a tractor pull this morning.
That's right. Chris is live up in the Morrow area, and that's where they're getting ready for a 3-day festival called the Old Machinery Days. Chris rejoins us now, and Chris, this is all about antiques, right?
John, it's all about beautifully restored antique tractors, but it's also about power. And the way they test that power is with the antique tractor pull. And I'm here with two gentlemen who know all about it, Jim Hurst and Tom Gentry. Jim, why don't we start with the Old Machinery Days? What's this thing all about?
Well, it's mainly about keeping a little bit of our history alive. Most of us that's in the club have grown up on a farm. Not too many of us still farm, but we still like the equipment we grew up on, and we just do it, and we have a lot of fun with it.
And yeah, and you guys really enjoy showing it off because it is beautifully restored. Tom Gentry, you're the sled operator in the tractor pull. Start from the back and describe how this thing works.
Okay, we start out with approximately 12,000 pounds of concrete. It goes through a series of transmissions and works forward as the tractor pulls the sled, puts weight on the pan, which is approximately 8 by 10 feet long. As the tractor pulls, it pulls more weight forward, applies more weight, which is harder to pull for the tractor.
And just so we're clear on that, there are wheels on the back of the sled. When the weight's back there, it's much easier to pull. As it moves forward, it just kind of grinds onto that skid plate.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, and now here we are on the tractor. On the 1955 Cockshut 40, we've got Bill Hurt from Lebanon, Ohio. Bill, are you ready to do it? I'll tell you what, Tom, why don't you get in position as the sled operator? Bill, whenever you're ready, take off. And meanwhile, Jim and I are going to do a little commentary here. Now, how does this thing work? He starts pulling. How long will it take for it to grind to a halt?
Sometimes it don't take too long. The tractor will either spin out or it'll run out of power and just die in its tracks.
Okay, and now as the concrete block starts to move forward, how fast will it move forward?
Well, that depends on what gear we have it in. Just the different weight classes, different horsepowers of tractors, we put it in different gears to kill them faster.
And how many horsepower is that tractor?
That tractor out of the factory when it was new was between 35 and 40 horsepower.
Now, explain to me this. I don't get how something that's only 35 horsepower can pull that much weight, 12,000 pounds.
Well, it all has to do with gearing, the size of the tires, and of course the cleats on the back of the tires.
All right, Jim Hurst, Tom Gentry, Bill Hurt, thank you all very much. And by the way, that giant John Deere tractor, that thing, we're told, that's to pull the sled back when it gets down to the very end, and it can apparently pull that sled around like a little toy. So come on up here and check out the tractor pull this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Back to you guys.
All right, Chris, very impressive there. I like to have that big tractor for the morning commute. You know what I'm saying? All right, Chris Baelish, thank you. And again, the Antique Tractor Show is called the Old Machinery Days. It's today through Sunday. It's located 3 miles west of Morrow on State Route 22 there at Oders Lake. Now, it should be good weather for it, too.
Actually, you know, I was thinking about that because there's so much dirt out there. If we had rain, it'd be a little messy, so the rain is going to be later. Let's check in with meteorologist Steve Horstmeyer.
The rain will hold off until the weekend is over, so a clear, cool morning out there. 44 at 8 a.m., 66 and sunny at noon, 71 and mostly sunny at 5 p.m. Here's the latest on now Tropical Storm Floyd, even much weaker than that in most